Okay, hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Tea Time with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today is the 23rd of January 2020. So, yep, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Thursday's afternoon session. So, where we're going to have a quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest, and we can continue. Okay, also, sorry about the delay in the video today. So, had my colleague in front of me, but that's so now we can get back to our Traders Tea Time. So yeah, guys, before we jump in, as always, quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel here, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos. Of course, our JFD Bank website and specifically our JFD research page, which we update on a daily basis. So yep, I believe you can find a lot of useful stuff here for yourselves. But now then, let's jump into the charts. Now, the first one I want to touch on here is the Nasdaq100. Now, looking at the trading activity which we saw yesterday, we saw the index closing slightly in the red, but looking at the cash index today, we can see that the price is slightly below the yesterday's close. So in a way, there is a likelihood that we could see this one drifting to the downside. And in a way, what we're keeping an eye on, of course, we're keeping an eye on some of these key areas of support and resistance. Now, we are not really examining any kind of deeper declines for now. For now, any move lower could still be seen as a temporary correction, because we can see that we are still above this short-term tentative upside support line taken from the low of the 3rd of December. And also overall, we are above this medium-term upside support line taken from the low of the 3rd of October. So in a way, there's plenty of space for the bulls to step in again here. But from the very, very short-term perspective, there is a possibility we could see this one drifting lower. And what you could do here today, especially, keep an eye on this little area of support here near the 9,145 mark. Now, if we get a drop below this, then yes, there is a good chance we may see this one drifting towards this short-term upside line. But if it stays above this territory, then well, we could see a nice rebound and then maybe a push back to the upside. The only problem with the upside here is, of course, that we are hitting these all-time highs. Now, just to be on the safe side, probably we'll just wait for a push above the all-time high figure, which is near the 9,242 zone. And if we do get a push above this, then yes, we will aim for further upside. For now, there is a possibility we could see some correction, especially if it starts dropping further down below the 9,145 zone. So keep your eyes on that one. Silver is at a very interesting spot as well. So recently I've looked at silver, and I was telling you guys to keep a close eye on this short-term upside support line taken from the low of the 11th of December. We managed to get a break of that one. It drifted to the downside. What I was also saying, that keep an eye on the 17.85 mark, because if we see a drop below this could lead towards this 17.65 area, which we managed to test perfectly. And now you can see that it is acting as a fantastic area of support. So in a way, this area right here is going to be that one that we're going to be keeping a close eye on right now, because if we get a nice, at least a 4-hour candle close here below this territory, below the 17.65, then yes, we will aim for further declines, because this is where more sellers could start joining in and pushing this one potentially towards the 17.30 zone, which is marked by the high of the 4th of December. For now, just be very probably careful here, because like I said, you can see that this territory, the 17.65, although we are having some overshoots here, neither of the 4-hour candles is closing below this. So this is how important this territory is right now. But if it fails eventually, then yes, it could open the path towards lower levels. In terms of the upside, we'll be very careful here, and we will consider higher areas, but only if we get a nice, at least a 4-hour candle close above the 17.85 zone, because but only then we will aim till this 18.15 zone, which previously acted as a fantastic area of resistance. So we'll only target that area, and because we want to see how this is going to play out, and if this one is not going to be forming something of a range here. So basically we can get rid of this upside line, we no longer need it. But if we get a nice rebound and a push back above the 17.85 zone, then we'll consider a possible range here for a while. So let's see if that's actually going to happen. If the lower bound breaks here, then yes, we could consider further declines. USDCAD now, I looked at this one this morning, and basically I was telling you guys to keep a close eye on this barrier, the 1.317475 zone. Also, what I was saying, that there is a possibility we could see maybe a bit of a correction here to the downside, given that we already had a sharp uprise. The only thing is that you can see that it looks like that the pair is not really willing to travel for a deeper correction. Now, for those bulls, I would say yes, we could aim for higher levels again shortly, but probably just wait for a push above the 1.3175 zone and then target the upside. In case this, like I said, in case this decides not to travel lower, not to go for this kind of deeper correction. If it does go for a deeper correction, as long as it remains above the 1.3105 zone, we will stay positive here and continue targeting the upside. With the, like I said, with the downside, well, we'll take a very conservative approach and wait for a break, not only of this short-term tentative upside line, but also a drop below the 1.3025 level. So yep, let's keep an eye on that one. Jumping into GBPNZD, I've talked about this one yesterday in my Trader's Tea Time, and this is what I was saying, that after we had a nice break above the 1.9840, yep, we've reached one of our targets here near the 1.9953. The pair reversed lower, and it's now working according to plan. So it is going for a bit of a correction here, but keep your eyes on this territory here, the 1.9840. If it acts as a fantastic area of support, then we could see a nice rebound and a push to the upside again, because for now we are targeting still that psychological 2 level, and then we'll take it from there. Then we'll see what he wants to do after that. In terms of the downside, well, we'll take a pretty much conservative approach and wait for a break of this upside line first before kind of, let's say, considering some deeper extensions to the downside. EURGBP. So something that I've mentioned yesterday as well in my Trader's Tea Time, what I was saying, that we will be targeting this level here, the 0.8421. We've managed to get a touch of that perfectly. The pair is kind of flat today, but remains above the remains above the 0.8421. So for now, this is kind of the plan for us here is, if we get a push, a nice rebound here again, and a push back above the 0.8454 zone, we could see maybe a test of this little territory right here near the 0.8486. But if that fails to withhold, now this is where it could become a little bit more interesting, because we could be getting ourselves a nice range here, and if we get a push above the 0.8486, then, well, it could open the path for itself towards the upper side, the upper bound of this range that we've got ourselves in. So this range is roughly between the 0.8421 and the 0.8592 zones. But again, for now, before we could kind of, let's say, aim for the upper side potentially, we need to see a nice good move away from the lower bound. For now, it's kind of flat here, so it's still, there is still a risk that we could see a drop below the lower side here, but until we see that drop, we're not going to really do anything here, and we're not going to consider the downside. So basically, long story short, we need to see a nice good move below the 0.8420 zone, because this move would confirm a forthcoming lower low and more sellers could be joining in. So that's why, guys, for now, probably wait this one out, and keep an eye on the highlighted areas here. These are the potential breakout points for a further directional move. And the last pair for this session is going to be the euro dollar. So this is what I talked about this morning. So basically we got the ECB interest rate decision, so well, no surprises there, but the and the euro dollar was not really moving that much during that much after the announcement of the rate, but the main moves came during the Christine Lagarde's press conference. So this is what I was talking about this morning. Basically, we may see some increased volatility, so we got that. We also could see some false breakouts, which we got as well. Now, again, don't get me wrong, we still have full half of the day to go through. We have the full US session to go through as well, so half of the European day still for the currency here, for the currency pair. But basically what you need to do here, guys, right now is keep an eye on this upside line. You can see that this upside line continues to be tested. Yes, we did get an overshoot. You can see that the bears are really fighting it hard, really trying to push this one lower. But in order to consider further declines, well, we would like to see at least a 4-hour candle close below this 1.1066 level. Of course, ideally we would prefer to see a daily close, but if we get a drop below this or at least a close of a 4-hour candle below this level, then yes, we will aim for the downside here, guys. So that's why I be very careful. For now, let's just continue observing this one. Don't try to predict. Let's see where it's going to end, and then we'll adjust our overview accordingly. But again, with the upside, guys, also that's the level that we're keeping an eye on, just to be on the safe side. This 1.1118, a nice good push above this could in a way open the path towards some higher levels, but still we'll be very careful here because there are a bunch of obstacles for the euro dollar to overcome before it could travel even, let's say, higher. But for now it seems that the upside could be slightly off the table unless this upside support line continues to hold. So, but again, in order to see if it holds or not, we need to wait for to see how if we get a close below this 1.1066 level. If we do get a close of the 4-hour candle below this level. If not, then, well, there is a possibility we could see the bulls jumping back into this one. But again, for us to get comfortable with higher levels, we need to wait for a push above the 1.1118 level. Okay, guys, I really hope you found it useful. Once again, sorry for the late start. My colleague was running his video before me, so but I hope you enjoyed this one. If you want to join me tomorrow morning, as always, at my Traders Espresso, 7 o'clock GMT time. For now, I hope you have a beautiful evening, and I'll see you later. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.